And I'm not a Star Wars.
And now, broadcasting live from the Darkroom Studio at Craven Community College, it's In the Know.
Hello, everybody.
Did you know it was going to be you, Meredith?
I learned that 2 seconds ago. Hi, this is In the Know, the Craven Community College podcast, and I am Meredith Laskovics. I'm filling in for Craig Ramey today on Wednesday, May the 4th. That's today.
May the 4th be with you.
And are you supposed to say, and also with you?
That's only if you're
with you.
Only if you're a Catholic Star Wars person.
I guess. Or, I don't know. That's how I've always responded.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we
let's
see that in the Baptist denomination as well.
Oh, do you?
Also with you.
And also with you.
after you say May the 4th be with you.
We haven't said that in church lately. But I will try
Why not
tonight.
start now?
I'll try tonight, Wednesday night supper, and we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, so let's see who we've got at the table. To my right,
Surprise!
we've got
Hi, everybody. I'm back. I'm glad to be back. So, anyway, I'm excited to be back. Also, I'm going to end up with really bad helmet head or earphone head because I forgot my little earbuds. So, if you see me later, don't make fun of my hairdo because that's why I wear the earbuds.
It's the Princess Leia look. It's
It
good.
is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it is.
Princess Leia. And next to me on my right is...
Happy lunch, guys. It's Wendy White. Glad you're watching us either during your lunch today or later on watching the recording of us. So glad to have you join us no matter what time of day it is for you right now.
It's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime, yes. I'm going to turn it to the booth for Holly. And I believe we have Christy Reed joining us today as well.
Hey, girls.
Hello.
Thanks for supporting us there.
Of course.
Well, we are excited to have everyone here. We got a great show planned today. A lot is happening right now in this room.
we got a lot going on. They had the filter on you, so it wasn't like
I
high
had a filter?
def. Yeah, not
take
intentionally. So now you're back to unfiltered.
Give
Sorry.
me the filtered. I'll take the filtered back.
And then on your right, which we've already heard speak for us, is Dr.
Yes,
Alec Newton.
Thank you. I am excited to be here, Dean of the Health Programs. I'm happy to talk about May the 4th and some of the cool things going on in health programs as well.
Some of the fun stuff.
Well, we were wondering if you were going to introduce yourself as Dr. Newton, or were you going to announce yourself as someone else today?
Someone else today?
Yes.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Maybe after our TBD talk, we can bring back his character.
Okay.
How's that sound? Do you like that idea?
Definitely an option.
Okay.
Yes.
Good deal.
Alec is going to be our guest throughout the show. You did hear me mention just a minute ago that we do have a TBD talk, so we want you to stay tuned for that to be determined talk. It is going to be Dr. Jessica Saxon who is going to be talking about Meredith has the
Star Wars.
Yes. And how it relates to.
It's a surprise.
There you go.
I love
TBD.
it.
Ruining it.
TBD.
Awesome.
It is to be
Sorry,
determined.
honey. To be determined.
It's okay.
Total
I still have
surprise
a lot
to
of
me, so-
Headphone problems to fix here.
Sorry. It's
That's
just
okay.
a little, it's a puzzle.
It's just different because you haven't been there for so long, and now you're here. And now I'm in this seat that I'm not usually in.
And Craig's
And
seat.
everybody's just all mismatched today.
It is okay. That's
Yes.
all right. Well, you've also
It's
been
okay.
running around fixing us too while
I
you're
have.
doing your.
You see the bead of sweat. Just kidding. I don't sweat.
You don't sweat.
Glisten.
You glisten.
That's exactly right. Glisten.
So, I did ask before we got started if people had shared why I was gone, and you guys know I'm kind of an open book, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll share a little bit. So a month ago tomorrow, my husband underwent triple bypass heart surgery at Vidant, and a lot of people, again, we didn't hide it until, just to kind of keep our children safe, knowing that we were out of the area. But other than that, those that did know and those that have kept in touch with us, especially my podcast mates who have been fantastic, super support, but also coworkers and community members that have been fantastic and sending out prayers and meals and all of that good stuff. Happy to report he has had a miraculous recovery. It's been just short of like I said, it's just been a miracle. One thing after the next. So again, thank you for that. I do believe in the power of prayer. I know you talked about that going tonight to Wednesday supper. So we'll witness all of the glory. So again, thank you again for everybody who's supporting me. I'm just glad to be back, and he's glad to be healthy. So
That's
amen
awesome.
to that.
Glad to have
That's
you back.
awesome.
Yes.
We missed you.
So glad he's okay.
Yeah, thank you. So that, on a good note, let's say something a little bit healthy. Can we talk healthy?
Do it.
All right. One of our national days of today, orange juice.
Yeah.
Orange
I
juice.
saw that.
Yeah. So, are you an orange juice
Did
fan,
you bring us some
Wendy?
orange
I
juice?
didn't, because I didn't realize it was National Orange Juice Day until about an
Megan, here
hour
we go.
ago.
I know you've been
Out
gone, but
of
you're not.
training.
I am, yeah, I'm a little out of sorts. So, but yeah, so National Orange Juice Day. Are you an orange juice drinker?
I am.
Do you? Are you
Yes.
daily?
No, not daily, but I am an orange juice drinker. A little champagne in there too. But
Yeah, that's the only way I like it.
Mimosas are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's some. Oh, there it is. I was like, where did it go? So, National Orange Juice Day recognizes America's most popular breakfast drink. Orange juice holds a large margin over the second place juice. Alec, you want to take a guess?
Grape?
Nope.
Ooh.
Apple.
Apple. Apple is second. People have been waking up to a glass of orange juice for many years and enjoying the health benefits it gives them. I think number one, I would say, is vitamin C. And now with when we're not necessarily getting fresh squeeze, so they have to add it, and we can get vitamin A and D and all those other kind of stuff flushed in there. So good stuff. I like orange juice, but it's also loaded with a lot of sugars.
It
and It
is,
doesn't
yeah.
necessarily like me, so
Yes.
I limit my intake unless it's with champagne.
Great choice.
Yes.
Great choice.
Even then,
So
a
it's
lot
not-
of orange juice is a lot of orange juice, you know?
Yeah.
Like bottomless mimosas, that's a lot of orange juice.
Yeah.
But it's still better to
Sometimes
drink
it's too
orange
much.
juice than it is to drink soda. So if you're going to have
That's
a sugary
true.
drink,
Correct.
the doctor in me says, please drink orange juice rather than sugary sodas.
But not 20 ounces of either.
Typically, no. But depends on how much mimosa you're having, I guess.
That's a rarity.
It
It's
is
like
a rarity.
It's a Christmas morning thing.
It's a rarity
Yeah.
to have mimosas, but yes.
But it's a fun one.
There are
It
other
is.
spirits. There are other spirits you can mix with orange juice.
Ooh, do
Yes.
tell.
I mean, you've all had a screwdriver.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yes.
that.
Yeah. That's a pretty standard one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Rum and orange juice, that's called something.
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 it had a sunrise. Sun.
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It is
okay.
a thing.
Yeah.
There might be
Alright.
other things you add into it.
It's a tequila sunrise. Doesn't that have
Listeners.
orange juice in it?
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
that a song
It is.
by the Eagles?
Tequila sunrise. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes at all. Those are the words, though, right?
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Okay, so let's talk about the real one as we are here on May 4th to celebrate National Star Wars Day. Meredith asked me, Megan, what do you know about Star Wars? And I'm like, not much. I mean, so let me just let's go back to some of the facts, okay? So Star Wars came out, do you know what year? The first original one.
76.
Almost.
Wendy, you want to take a guess?
Um,
I like how we're turning this into trivia.
We have to.
Yeah.
I would say 78, 79. Can I
Holly?
get two guesses?
Don't look it up, Holly.
She doesn't have time for that.
74?
I'm going to just
No.
say 75 just
Because?
because.
Okay, so okay.
Just say it.
Well, I'm also telling on my age. It was May 25th of 1977, Memorial Day weekend.
77.
77.
Yes.
So my birthday's in August. So my 7th birthday was spent at the movie theater with 6 of my closest friends and my brothers and my parents watching Star Wars. Now, why did it take us that long to go from May 25th to August? Because it was probably cheaper. I mean, let's just be real. But we all that was my 7th birthday.
That's
I was in the
awesome.
theater watching Star Wars. So I still remember that opening scene with the words going up, and I couldn't read it fast enough, and I couldn't read most of it, and because again, I'm 7, and then the what are the ships called?
ships.
Those little flying
TIE
machines.
fighters.
Holly,
TIE fighters. the X-Wing.
Holly, did you like that?
those ship things.
Those ship things.
The-
the
those-
little round,
the planes.
disky.
You're talking about the TIE fighter.
I don't know.
Because there's also the star. The
Now go back to the original.
Star Destroyer, which also flies. But is it
The one
is
that
it the TIE fighter that flies first?
the one that
We don't know.
the one
Alec.
that
That's why you're here.
Chewbacca, the one in Chewbacca
Millennium
and
Falcon.
The
And Han
Falcon is
Solo.
the one.
Han Solo.
Yes.
who
Yes,
was,
that's the big one. That's got
But
like
there's,
the.
I thought typically it was a Star Destroyer that was
I don't
going
know.
over.
I just liked how they used to go between the canyons,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that was that scene was drilled into my head.
Canyon is a pod racer.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
so that's where we are.
Anyway, that's
Yeah.
where we are.
Usually in the movies, when those words start going up and I can't read them fast enough, that's when I check out.
Then you'd been out like
Yep.
2 seconds in.
Yep.
Yes.
But do you know why 4, 5, and 6 came out before 1, 2, and 3?
Tell us.
Because in charge of directing Yoda was.
Ah, that's good. That's a good one.
I didn't catch that. It went right over my head.
That's all right. Millennium
okay.
Falcon will bring it back to you.
Okay.
later.
Yes. Yes.
So this is a day of a lot of silly jokes and puns. So we don't want to. I don't know. I'll get lost in all of them because I won't get them. But do you need help? You
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So you guys want some other facts?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. What is the National Star Wars Day all about?
Is it not Star Wars?
To celebrate Star Wars. I know it did not happen until recent years, and I say recent years loosely. So I think I've shared everyone, today is my daughter's 21st birthday.
Happy birthday.
So she was born on May the 4th, and when she was born, it was not a thing.
Right.
Everybody else was like, oh, it should have been tomorrow for Cinco de Mayo. So I do know the May the 4th thing has not been around that many years.
Okay. Started in Canada. I did read that.
Okay.
Interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it started in Canada.
Wow. I want to say.
Do you know why? Just somebody said, May the 4th be with
I'm
you.
not sure.
And then
I'm
it
not
was
sure.
a thing.
So I cut and pasted stuff. So I'm not sure if I got all of that. I
That's
might
what-
come across it.
That's what we should go with. Somebody
We're
just
gonna
said it,
Go with it. Yes.
and it became
Yes.
a meme.
I mean,
Probably so. I want to say 2011, 2010, I think, is when it became popular because I remember buying Darby a shirt for her birthday that said, May the 4th be with you. And she wore it to school that day.
that's cute though.
And I want to say it was her middle school years that she did that. So that dates it to about 2011, 10, 11,
Well, this is
12.
kind of interesting.
That
Star
checks
Wars
out.
fans
Makes
didn't
sense.
first introduce the often quoted phrase on the 4th. It was in 1979, and British elected the first female Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. On the May 4th, the day she took office, the Conservative Party placed an advertisement in the London Evening News which read, May the 4th be with you. Be with Star Wars creator George Lucas was asked during a 2005 interview on a German news TV channel to say the famous sentence, May the Force be with you. Force instead of the 4th. Upon doing so, the interpreter, he interpreted the sentence into German, and I'm not going to read the German. On May 4, we are with you. So that was back in, so TV totally captured this and aired it on May 18th, 2005, and congratulated Maggie for becoming Prime Minister.
Interesting.
Maggie, Margaret Thatcher. So anyway, so I did see that. But I did see that it started in Canada. My question is, for somebody who's got a lot of these props and you came with costumes, so did this start like Comic-Con? Or was that a thing before? Because I don't know anything about any of that.
Yeah.
Comic-Con is so much larger than just Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
There's
did
a
it
lot of
start
anime.
it, though? I don't know.
We
I
need to
don't-
know
I
when
honestly don't know.
Comic-Con started.
If we could have had Julia Hamilton here, she could tell us all about Comic-Con. But
Julia Hamilton.
her husband is a huge Comic-Con fan.
Oh.
And so they went every year to Raleigh. Now, I
Gotcha.
did live in San Diego, but I could never afford to go to Comic-Con in San Diego back in the 90s.
I bet it was huge. Well,
It was gigantic.
Then it's even bigger now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Comic-Con, I think Star Wars is just a small part of that whole
Part of-
process.
okay.
Yeah.
And if that started in the 90s and this was 2000 something, then
And
Yeah.
and Comic-Con could have been before that. I mean, there's been geeks like me for decades. I mean, we've all liked to dress up and wear, the Chewbacca outfits.
Makes noise.
Wasn't there a YouTube of the lady who bought that in the parking lot and she
Yes.
couldn't stop laughing?
Yes.
I loved
These
that.
are hard to find now because of her.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And this
I love
is,
it.
Yes. Everyone needs to have a Chewbacca mask. Because, you're sitting in traffic. I mean, you put this on in traffic and just start talking to your neighbors. I mean,
Yeah.
how awesome is that?
Now, does it distort
I
your
wanna
voice
see that.
too?
No, that one does not distort my voice.
That one.
I do
so
have a
that
Darth
means there's
Vader one.
another one.
Yeah, that's coming later
Okay.
after the TBD.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to
Exciting.
wait on that one.
Okay, we're gonna wait on that one.
So, another question. What would happen if C3PO really lost R2D2?
Do you know who that's
a
talking
joke,
to?
or-
Referring
That's these
to
guys right
okay,
here.
so
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you knew who you were talking about.
I don't know. Can
Yeah.
you reach
C-3PO
it?
is a gold
Yes.
droid.
I can't reach it.
I got it.
Can you reach it?
Yep. Oh, it's not.
They're not attached.
Yeah, here we go.
There you go.
R2D2 and C3PO.
C3PO.
Oh, good gracious, can't say it today. Yes.
I did love those characters. They were fun.
Yes.
They were. I did like those
So,
characters.
is this a joke or is
I'm not
this?
sure.
Yeah,
Again,
are
it
you
doesn't-
leading up to a joke?
It says, while we are not 100% certain of what, may the fourth be with him as he searches the galaxy. I guess it was kind of a joke. I don't know. Sorry. I really should just shut up and talk about orange juice. It's so not my thing.
So do you know why doctors make the best Jedis?
Why?
Because Jedis have to have lots of patience.
I get that one.
Dun. That was good.
See,
I
I
saved it
don't.
there.
That
I
was
don't
good.
know a lot of Star Wars, but I do get all
Still
the
went over
jokes.
my
Some
head.
of the jokes, yeah.
Yeah.
Doctors have patience.
I got that.
Jedis have
Jedis
to
have
meditate a lot, and they have to be very
Have
patient.
Oh, I didn't know it.
Brains to develop.
See, I didn't make the connection between a Jedi and a
So,
meditating. Oh, I want to know. Going back
Please
to,
ask.
Going back to the Yoda thing.
we've missed
Okay.
you so much.
Yeah, we have.
So going back to the Yoda thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Yoda, it kind of reminded me of Grandma Willow in Pocahontas. Like he lived out in
What a connection.
Wow. I don't remember Grandma Willow.
Grandma Willow. She lived out in the swamp, and Pocahontas went to go talk to Grandma Willow.
Okay.
Is this the
It's
cartoon
kind of-
movie that came out like in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, or 2000, I don't know, something like that. But I bet Holly could find a picture, and she'd know what I'm talking about. And Yoda kind of lived in the same environment, right? He lived in like a swamp.
Technically, he did retire to a swamp.
I'm talking about the
Right.
back to the original one.
Yes.
He
So,
lived in a
You
swamp.
first discovered him in the swamp.
Yeah, he was in a
Yes.
swamp, and he was
Yes.
like an old, dried up, shriveled up little guy, right?
Right.
Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Yoda. Okay, so what was the big deal a couple years ago about Baby Yoda?
Oh, that's from
Grogu?
the-
You don't know
I-
about
I-
Grogu?
That's Baby
The
Yoda.
Mandalorian?
He's from The
And
Mandalorian.
the
Okay.
Mandalorian. So there was a spinoff
Okay.
with the Mandalorian who has
I don't know
a
what a
baby
Mandalorian is.
Yoda. So there is a
It's a-
Yoda.
it's a
Do you remember
TV
Boba
show.
Fett?
Oh.
But-
Do you remember Boba Fett
we're
from
going
the Star
too
Wars
deep.
movies?
We're going too deep for her, I'm afraid. She doesn't remember.
No.
So
I remember
She
the
saw it when
big
she was
fat
7.
thing that looked
Yeah.
like a caterpillar.
More of a slug, but yeah.
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 What was his name?
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt. I remember
Yeah.
Jabba.
Yeah.
He was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
sorry.
there was a spinoff now, a little mini series, if you will.
Megan.
And the star of this was a baby Yoda. So it's a Yoda, that type of creature is now a baby, and then
So
you
there was more than one Yoda.
so then you discover
Yeah,
it's
his
a
there's an
name is
entire
species.
Grogu.
species of them.
Yes.
there was a species of Yoda.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, and so there's a baby Yoda, adorable by the way.
Very cute.
And
Eats
I
frogs.
really got into the Mandalorian, and I really enjoyed that. And so you find out his name is Grogu.
Oh.
And he's
Speaking-
made
Sorry
he's
for
made
the
an appearance in
spoiler.
the tie-in, the
No
Boba
spoil-
Fett
Yeah.
series as well.
Yes.
he comes
Speaking of
back.
names, why don't we get to our TBD talk? We're
I
gonna
actually might
learn-
get enlightened.
You might get enlightened.
I need to be enlightened.
Yeah, you do. So this
I'm
is
stuck in the 70s
yeah.
when it comes to Star Wars.
All right. Are you ready, Holly? Okay. I'm going to play our TBD talk from Dr. Jessica Saxon.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Saxon. I teach composition and literature here at Craven Community College. I'm here today to talk to you guys about Star Wars. Anybody that's taken a class with me knows that acronyms are one of my favorite things to talk about. And an acronym is simply when a character's name foreshadows or gives us some sort of information about the character's traits. Skywalker is a good example from inside of the Star Wars universe. This man who will go on to walk through the galaxy is kind of this powerful figure. But other aptronyms are not quite as readily apparent. So the fun thing about aptronyms, and part of the fun of exploring a well-known work like Star Wars, is looking at possible name meanings. So Luke, of course, we've got his last name Skywalker, but his first name Luke means light-bearing, and, well, he's the hero, so he's destined to bring light to the galaxy and to lead in the downfall of the Empire. He's also literally light-giving with the lightsaber, right? His weaponry is light-giving as well. Ben, and that's Ben as in Han and Leia's son, means favored son, this prized thing. Sometimes, especially in the Star Wars universe, this connotation of the prodigal son, the son that has gone astray and the family's consistently trying to get him back into the fold. Maybe also part of why he decides to abandon that name in favor of a name that he chooses for himself. So those are fairly straightforward. Some names have got these kind of complicated layers of linguistic roots. So the name comes from a couple of different linguistic traditions. Leia, her name has 3 different possible roots. One is weary, as in worn and tired. And of course, anybody whose planet has been blown up will be worn and tired. The trials and tribulations that she goes through before the first film even starts are unbearable, right? But it also has another linguistic root that means mistress, and mistress in the sense of a powerful female figure, which then nicely links up to some possible Latin roots that mean lioness, right? And specifically lioness, not lion, but lioness, this mighty female predator, hunter, leader, the carer for the rest of the pack, which again ties her kind of nicely to that relationship she develops with Rey later on. One of my favorites is Han's first name. Now, of course, we've got Solo, kind of on the nose of like this lone gunslinger coasting through the galaxy doing whatever he wants to, right? But his first name, one of the roots of it, means steep incline. And especially in the first 3 films, Han really does have a kind of sharp learning curve. He gets pulled into all of this adventure and fiasco, and now all of a sudden he's part of a rebellion, and he's got a very sharp learning curve. And he's oftentimes resistant to the things that he sees around him and resistant to participating in that. So he's got a sharp incline road ahead of him. It also has connotations, though, with words that mean of uncertain origin. And Han is a bit of a mysterious character, especially at the very beginning. We don't know a whole lot about who he is, aside from, like, again, that lone gunslinger sort of image that we have. But then my favorite is actually the third possible meaning of his name. Han also has connotations in Middle German of a rooster. With rooster, and especially with the way that term shows up, it's got all these connotations of cockiness, of being egotistical, of being the best, the brashest, the most boastful. And with the connotations of rooster, not just the egotistical part of things, but also physically attractive, like this suave ladies' man sort of thing. Now, of course, you can get all of that just by watching him, especially in the first 3 films. But then when you watch him strutting around the galaxy and you get like this rooster connotation of his name, it reinforces his character. It maybe even makes part of him a little bit more comical, if you like that reading of him too. In later versions of the Star Wars universe, there's this idea that Palpatine is kind of the force behind Anakin's creation, okay? That he has made this child somehow. And this comes out in a couple of things outside of the films mostly. And in one of those, in a 2014 novel, he's actually given a first name. It doesn't show up in the films, but it shows up in this novel. And his first name is Shiv, which is very closely related to the principal Hindu god Shiva. Especially in Western culture, this god has associations with death and destruction. So the 2 parents of Anakin Skywalker are potentially a god and a goddess, right? With all of kind of those overlays of how Anakin's got this unstoppable almighty power, but one that represents all of these positive things: wealth, good fortune, prosperity, happiness, and another that represents death and destruction, the tearing down of the old world in order to build the new world. And then the last one is my deepest of rabbit holes for you guys. We're going to talk about Anakin, and we're going to get a little weird. So brace yourself, and always feel free to disagree if I say something that you think just doesn't quite add up, because that's the fun of interpretation, is going out on limbs and testing ideas and seeing what makes sense. So let's talk about Anakin. Arguably the heart of the Star Wars universe, right? Basically everything centers around who he is and what he has done and the generational ripples that come out from him. So Anakin's name comes from a German last name, Anakin. That Anakin spelled with 2 N's at the beginning, not the one that we see in the film. But the German last name Anakin means child of Heinrich. Okay, and Heinrich, as a German name, has got kind of some root words in it. One is home and one is power. And when you start looking at Anakin, especially in that middle trilogy, right, those are the 2 things that he longs for the most. Home, but also power. And power oftentimes in a sense to save his home or to protect the people that he loves the most as well. So this child of home, child of power, child that is consumed with ideas about both home and power. So we've got Anakin, this German surname that means child of home and power, more or less. But remember that he oftentimes goes by Annie, especially to people that know and love him. And specifically in Western cultures, Annie is a feminine name. It is a name that's more associated with women than it is with men, typically, especially in the culture that produced Star Wars, right, our modern American culture. He's got this kind of push-pull with a masculine-sounding name and a feminine-sounding name, possibly foreshadowing the fraternal twin children he has, where he has Luke and Leia, and kind of the masculine and feminine being split into 2 separate beings. But the name Annie, in and of itself, has its own meaning. And it's one that's kind of devastating when you look at what happens to him in his transition to Darth Vader. Because the name Annie means great beauty, a beautiful person, both kind of physically, certainly, but maybe also some connotations about like just a good person. And at the end of that middle trilogy, when we see him transition into being Darth Vader, not only has his soul been destroyed, right, and his mind, but his body has been destroyed too in that final battle he has with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's badly burned, he's lost limbs, he's unable to breathe. So this great beauty that has become the embodiment of evil and ugliness in this galaxy. So a bit of an ironic gap between what his friends called him and the person he turned out to be. So let's take Actance and Aptonyms back to fairy tales again, because that is where we started after we spun off a little bit. So keep in mind, fairy tales are some of the oldest narrative forms we have. We have been telling some forms of fairy tales for as long as 6,000 years. That takes us back to the Bronze Age. They're one of the earliest forms of narrative structures that we have record of. And we keep coming back to them across time and across culture, across continents, across civilizations and societies. We just return to these stories. We keep telling them and telling them and telling them. And every time that we tell them, we adapt them to fit our morals, our religious views, our cultures and societies, our political views, our desires, our hopes, our fears, how we think about good and evil. All of that gets recast every time that we retell a fairy tale. And so what Star Wars does is it works within this really long lineage of fairy tale stories and adapts those structures to create something new and exciting and interesting, fresh as well, that has these roots in very, very old and very, very familiar storytelling structures. So the fascinating thing about Star Wars is the way that it takes the fairy tale structures and remixes them constantly. A very long-term project, if you've got a lot of time on your hands this weekend, is to watch all of the trilogies together and look at the ways in which the ones that are produced in the 70s and 80s morph into something slightly different with the ones that are produced in the 90s versus the ones that have been produced in recent years. And we have this kind of shift from fairly moral certitude, right? There's a good side and a bad side, right? And you don't give in to the bad side, you only follow the light sorts of stuff. And there might be great sacrifice associated with that, but the light will always win. And that gets a little bit more muddied as our society transitions over the last 45 some years. And so now in the more recent trilogies, there's more gray area of can those that are evil be turned back to somebody that is good? And can those that are good be corrupted? And are they as good as they really seem like they are? So that's our little podcast rabbit hole of trying to figure out how on earth the Star Wars universe is connected to fairy tales. Go read some fairy tales, go watch some Star Wars films, see what connections you can make and where these rabbit holes take you.
Wow.
That was deep.
That was deep.
I love the fact that she
Yes.
called it rabbit holes.
Yeah. You know what? I think she might be a genius.
She is.
She's definitely a genius.
Telling you. What connections.
You know what? It really actually makes me appreciate the movie and how she connects it with literature so much, because I like that. You know, like I love lyric analysis and things like that in songs, and that to me is kind of the same root, you know, that she did. So as you can see, we have a new guest down at the end of the
yes,
table.
we have a new guest.
Hello.
I'm a little afraid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was unaware of the split that I had in that personality. And that, you know, I used to be beautiful, and now my inside and my outside are both no longer beautiful.
How does that come across on your end,
Yeah, how
Holly?
does that sound to our viewers?
That was really strange.
That is making your voice sound weird. But so that was cut pretty short. So she gave a like 20-minute comparison of Star Wars to ancient literature, and we will put the entire clip on YouTube later today or tomorrow. But if you are interested, if you're a big fan, please check that out because it is really cool, and she made
Yes.
some really deep connections.
Yes, I was saying when we were watching, some things are obvious, like, right, Han Solo, obvious one.
Yep.
Luke Skywalker, obvious one. But to go so deep as to say, you know, splitting the feminine side, the masculine side, and then the conception of twins.
Right,
and I
yeah.
was like, whoa,
I
new
know.
level. And we were just talking about, you know, we wonder if the thought process to creating it went that deep.
I mean, George Lucas is a genius.
Right.
Yes.
So did he really go that deep when he was planning out these names, or? I mean, because a lot of it had to be based on what his childhood was, because he'd watched like Seven Samurais, which was a lot of the foundation for the Jedi, and he had these resources. But to go to that level,
Yeah.
Yeah.
was quite impressive.
Definitely.
So,
Yes.
I mean, you kind of always knew that the colors were. Let's see.
Ooh.
You know, let's see if
Careful.
I can do it. You know, the
Yeah.
Watch out,
colors.
Wendy.
You know, the blue.
Right?
Everybody know whose lightsaber was blue?
It'd be Luke's.
Luke, yes. And then, of course, you had, you know, the red, which we always associate red with a little bit more evil.
I
Right.
don't have the flick of the wrist.
You don't have the force.
I don't. Yes.
So the red,
I think they've been used.
they have been used. They've been beaten up just a few thousand times.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Epic battles.
Yes.
So during my research in this, again, which was minimal because I haven't watched all the movies and all the sequels.
It would take you a long
But
time.
It would.
Yeah.
But, you know, one of the things that in Time Magazine, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, who passed during the last filming, is that right? While she was actually playing. So anyway, but back to the ones in the 70s, she had a interview with the Time Magazine, and she referred to this new phenomenon as an earthquake. Quote unquote, it was like an earthquake, beginning with, in her words, a new order of geeks and enthusiastic young people with sleeping bags. The anticipation of a revolutionary movie-watching experience spread like wildfire, causing long lines in front of movie theaters across the country and around the world. So when you think about back to this pop culture that started in the mid to late 70s, well, late 70s, 77, to where we are now. I mean, they were saying, again, I pulled up some stats, that the Star Wars series has received 7 Oscars, earned $461 million in U.S. ticket sales, and a gross close to $800 million from this stuff.
Yeah.
From extensive marketing and plush and the Lucas Studio and 20th Century Fox. And months before the movie date was even released, thank you, it wasn't like a movie opening. Back to what Carrie, again, it was an earthquake. And so here we are having this earthquake kind of continue.
Even still.
Yeah.
So it's really, and think about, you know, like when this happens, cartoon books came out with it, you know, students that have, or children that, back to the librarian, you talk about even, what's the literature stuff that the kids like now that have the
graphic
pictures?
novels.
Graphic novels. So this was like pre-graphic novels, getting those that may have not been interested in reading to get excited about reading again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it spurred on maybe the plush toy geek thing. But again, when it came out, my brothers were a little bit older, so that wasn't necessarily in the house, and we didn't have fancy lightsabers. I remember them using flashlights inside of wrapping paper.
Ooh, Alec, what do you have there?
Yes.
This is a homemade lightsaber.
What?
Tanya McGee down at our Havelock campus, she's the dean there. This is one of the projects she does with the kids for like some of the camps. And basically what it is it's a tongue depressor. This model is using some copper tape that you can buy on Amazon. We have another one which just uses tinfoil, some aluminum foil, which we all have in our house, with a little binder clip.
Huh.
And that's an LED light bulb, which you can buy on Amazon as well. You can also, if you have a string of Christmas lights, you can actually take the lights out of the old string of Christmas lights. They won't work anymore. Taped it on, and then that is, anybody recognize that straw? This wonderful, wonderful.
It's from a Slurpee.
It is from a Slurpee, yes.
Yes.
And so we have, we have the green and we have the pink.
And there's
So we have.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then when your kid breaks off the straw, they have a flashlight.
Haha.
It's teaching them, what do we call this?
Electricity.
Electricity.
Circuits.
I
Thank
don't
you,
know
Christy Reed.
why I was so...
Christy Reed, thank you. Circuits.
Yes, this is a simple circuit. So the kids are learning about the electrical, but they also get it tied into Star Wars. Now, a Star Wars lightsaber, as you know, is when he can tell you, it's if you're going to build it with a 3D laser printer, it's going to be, there's lots of components that go into that. So that's something else you can do. But yeah,
That's really cool.
it is cool science tie-in.
Yes.
Well, and as a musician, I would also say that something that Star Wars shared with the world was really good classical music that brought the characters and brought the scenery and the cinematography to life. And I think that children who may not have exposed to really good music were then exposed to it.
Yep. So we have a lot of those vinyl albums at home, and we'll just sit around and listen to the Star Wars soundtrack, and they're so good.
Yeah.
I have
feel
not
like
done
relaxing.
that. Have you done that?
I have not just sat around listening to the Star Wars soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, I recommend it.
John
I have
Williams,
not
isn't
done
he the
that.
one that
Yeah.
wrote all the soundtracks for all of them? So again, I mean, I just think that it's that's a great, a great opportunity to introduce folks to classical music that have said, "Oh, I don't like classical music."
I'll have to
You know?
Spotify that on the way
You should
home.
Spotify.
And I
Spotify.
can tell you another cool fact, that musicians that play for movie tracks they make more than folks that work in symphonies and orchestras. Okay, but you know who makes the most? Musicians that play for video games.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
That makes
video game
sense.
musicians. That is like the top paying job.
Wow.
We've got some comments
yay.
to look at. We have quite a few.
Megan, keep your mouth shut.
No, not yet. So
Yet.
Marie says, Craig, how did you miss this episode? Craig was very sad that he could not be here today.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
he'll be back next
He
week.
is a
There's
big
no
Star
food
Wars
though,
fan.
Craig. So
We don't have any food.
I forgot the
Don't
orange
worry.
juice.
Yeah,
so-
we miss you, Craig. So also Craig said, the swamp that Yoda lived in had a name. Do you want to guess the name? Just
Grandma Willow's Swamp.
no. Alec, do you have a clue?
I would recognize it, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to try.
How about the booth? Anybody? Nope. Okay. I might mispronounce this. Oh, wait, Wendy?
No.
Okay. Dagobah.
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 Yep.
Okay.
So that's where Yoda lived.
Oh.
Or where he was from?
Where he was.
It is where he retired to
Where
when
he
we
retired.
found him.
Okay.
Where we found him in that first.
Because
So
he
that's-
was in
yeah.
exile because the Empire had taken over. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and so William
Don't be
Shatner is
jealous,
going to be
Megan.
at Comic-Con.
Say
And
again?
Craig said earlier, you were talking about the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium.
But
Yeah. The
that was
Falcon.
before we decided
The
that
Falcon.
they were pod racers.
Oh, the spaceship.
Yes. That big ship.
Holly's making fun of me.
Yeah.
Shoo. That's my spaceship.
Spaceship.
My
It's-
spaceship.
That's not a moon, it's a space station.
So-
I do know that quote. Right?
Yes.
Did I do
the
it
Death
right?
Star. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so I know that we've also this is spun off card games and board games and video games and all kinds of stuff. And what do you have in the box down there, Alec?
So this was actually my first box set that I ever bought.
Ooh.
If you anybody recognize this, it's a Star Wars trilogy back when THX was first introduced.
Is that Blu-ray?
It is not Blu-ray.
VHS.
So I'm
Oh,
gonna
VHS.
date a few of you here.
I didn't hear VHS.
I don't think he said VHS. He said THX.
I said THX. THX was the sound. So when they remastered the sound, they issued the VHS, and then you could listen to them with the higher quality
Were
sound.
you worried that we were going to
versus
steal it and you
Santa
left it at home?
No, that's because it's in my VCR at home.
Oh.
It stays there to be enjoyed and
Yes.
appreciated. But what's funny is when you play a VHS on these large screen TVs, the picture is about that big in the
Yeah.
middle. Yes.
Yep.
Really?
We have them at our house too, and I have nothing to play them on. I think we talked about that
did,
last
yes.
week. I have
Yes.
nothing down to play our Star Wars.
VHS.
So,
VHS
so we know
on,
you
but I
have
still
a
have
VHS
'em.
player,
I
Alec.
do. I actually have one of the first Star Wars ever on VHS from a old Blockbuster store.
Ooh,
So
wow.
I have that box as well.
Wait, you didn't return it?
Blockbuster closed, so they were selling everything.
He was just
I
getting
bought it
the
on
late
just-
fee. He just
thought
kept
you were
going
getting a
and
late
going
fee,
and
yeah.
going, and so he didn't get
It's
charged.
going to show
late
up in your
fee.
credit report.
Blockbuster. One VHS.
They're gonna start calling
It was on
us
my dad's
like
account anyway back then. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
they're gonna start calling us like our car warranty.
Yep.
You have an overdue Blockbuster.
You have not returned. Holly Hobby.
I will gladly take it back to Blockbuster if you can find one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's only one
I think
left.
there's one.
And you can rent it out and sleep there.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I don't know if it still
you can pull
exists,
all
but-
nighters and watch movies, and they've got.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I
They
wonder
got
if there's
like
a
a
National
party.
Blockbuster Day.
I'm sure there is.
There's got to be.
I'm sure
we'll
there
find
is.
out. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
I had a Blockbuster card.
Yeah. Do you still have your Blockbuster?
have a
Probably in an
Blockbuster
old
card.
wallet.
Yeah.
Because I kind
I
of
had one
like
too.
that thing.
You need to
and
frame
I
that.
kind of have those. That's kind of fun.
I had one too. I loved going on Friday afternoons. We would always go to Pizza Hut. The only
Pizza Hut.
only time we would go out to eat was on Friday, and we would go to Pizza Hut and eat pizza, and then we would go to Blockbuster and get a movie. So,
Nice.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what we
so
did.
so I know we're running kind of out of not
are
out
we?
of time, but we're getting close to the
Okay.
end here. So let's not let Alec leave without letting him talk about the nursing program.
And I have one more thing to talk about too. But go ahead.
Yes.
It's
Well, I'm
gonna
very
go
excited
with it.
about the nursing program because for the last 2 years we have been working on the accreditation process. You have to file an initial report, you get pre-approval for pre-accreditation, and then you have to work on, for about 18 months, you work on a self-study, and then you have a visit. We were blessed with a virtual visit where Miss Maureen had to make a video with Miss Meredith's help, showing all the different parts of the campus, but we had a really good site visit. We're very excited about that. There's really only one small thing that they found. So they are going to be recommending to the accreditation board, and they have to review everything. But we're hoping to find out in October. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed, everything crossed. That they will
Lightsabers.
let us
Yeah.
know in October that our nursing program will be fully accredited. Right now we're in pre-accreditation status. But what the cool thing about that is it's retroactive to April. So all of our
Nice.
current graduates will be will be considered graduates from an accredited program.
Oh, cool.
The
That'll be
big
great.
distinction there is our program since the 60s, all of our graduates can work in hospitals all over. The military at some point decided, you know what, each state's a little different, so we want national accreditation. So when that came in, our graduates couldn't directly go work on base. They could work in any other hospital, anywhere else they wanted to, but they couldn't go to on base right out of our program. So the vast majority of the students who really had a heart to serve and be on base, they got their BSN like at ECU, and then they were able to transfer in. We've eliminated that step by getting this accreditation, and it really serves our students well. So I'm very excited. Maureen Abraham and her team, her faculty, did a wonderful job on making this happen. We celebrated the day that happened down at Morgan's, which
Good.
if you haven't eaten at Morgan's, you need
Oh,
to eat at
yeah,
Morgan's. But that's off topic.
Well, that's
It's 'cause
that's
you're
really
hungry. It's
exciting.
It is 'cause
lunchtime.
I'm
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
That is
lunchtime.
awesome.
Have you heard about the new Chewbacca candy bar? It's a gluten-free candy bar.
No.
No.
I
Is
haven't
this a-
tried it yet, but I hear it's a little chewy.
Oh.
But bump. Did you get
Gotcha.
that
She
one?
got
Yeah,
that.
Did you get that one?
Yep.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
saw it in her face when she got it.
Yeah. Well, I when I walked in, I told Meredith that I was wearing Chewbacca colors today. With my.
See,
Anyway.
let's see if the mask matches.
It's way down.
No,
it's
we're
in
not
the
going to worry
bottom
about
of the
that.
bag.
So speaking of healthcare,
Yes.
and skilled care, today is also, and I don't want to cut you off because I know you've got to go somewhere. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second before you have to leave. So you're going to leave early from here, and you're going to head over to Oringer.
Yep. So the Encore choir is having their dress rehearsal today, and they are performing this weekend down at the Bank of the Arts. please double check that for me.
I think Holly might find it.
If
Not
she could confirm that
No?
for us.
okay.
The
We'll find
Encore
it.
is
We'll
performing
post it.
We'll find
downtown.
it.
I want to say there's performances on Friday and Saturday, but I love going to the dress rehearsal. It's on campus, but I love to support our students. And I've done it the last few years as well. Last few years they were at Mass. I think this year they're going to actually be a little closer together. But it is an amazing program, and they have beautiful voices. So
And
it is
our
classic
program
music,
is
so it's good
excellent.
to appreciate.
And our encore is all student-based, and they do a fun variety of music, so that's
They
very
do.
good. And you don't have to be a part of the fine arts program, I don't think, to join the choir. I think that you can just be interested in taking it as an elective. Not sure of that, but check on that. But so if you do have an interest, I mean, might plant that seed.
Plant
to
that
go
seed.
Plant
Yeah.
that seed. Go
Yeah.
get that fine arts program. So
right.
today is also National Skilled Trade Days. So it's the first Wednesday in May. Educates us on the national skills trades. So across the nation, many businesses require highly skilled workers to fill a multitude of trades in the healthcare, construction, manufacturing, industry, and service categories. So I wanted to make sure we brought this up because that is what we're doing here. Not in the entire part of the college, but as a huge
big
part of the college.
Big part.
We are
In all areas.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are doing that and encouraging. So, and again, number one, let me jump down here. Whether you're interested in being a chef or a mechanic, working as a medical coder, or helping others in the emergency medical technician, a nursing aide, or a vet tech, choices are available. That's right up Alec and I's cup of tea right there.
Yes.
So if you are interested in any of those, please contact either Alec's office or the Workforce Development Office, and we will help get the hookup. And don't forget that we are winding down this semester, but this summer we are going to have classes. So we're going to have that med tech going on. I know there's one in Havelock. I don't know about New Bern's, but again, we'll get all that information for you. So please, there'll be opportunities to take stuff during the day as well as at night, and that'll be here on the New Bern campus, the Volt campus, and the Havelock campus. And I heard this morning when they were talking about our economy, they were saying right now that there's the unemployment. There is actually 2 job openings for every unemployed person.
Wow.
So there are jobs aplenty that fall into the trades,
Yes.
the skilled
Definitely.
trades.
Yeah.
So that is,
plenty.
if you're looking at changing your career, which is why a lot of these trades a lot of these positions have opened up as
Right.
people after COVID said,
Change
you know
your
what,
mind.
I can do something different.
Right.
You know, life has taught us something new. So so really look into that. So anyway, there are more jobs than workers too. That's why we're just talking about, and the trend will continue for the next couple of decades. They're talking about. So therefore, National Trades Day is an important day and in the future. So baby boomers are retiring faster than companies can fill their openings.
I believe that.
Our largest employer east of 95 is FRC, and I'm hearing that on a daily basis from their folks that come to us and say, hey, we need some of your, they're looking for machinists right now, the sheet metal workers, even painters. I mean, they're at, like yesterday, I don't know if when you were down there, our aviation program in Havelock had the planes out in the hangar and outside of the hangar.
Yes, they were painting them, and it was neat to see.
It was very
because
neat.
they put the tape and they did patterns and designs, and it was really.
I never thought
I didn't
about
know they
that.
did that.
I didn't either.
At our Havelock
Wow.
campus.
Yeah, so it's really kind of
was
cool
really neat.
that was an aspect.
I found the notification for Encore. So there's only one day of concerts, but it's 2 concerts back to back. That's where I was confused.
Okay.
So the Encore Spring Concert is Friday, May 6th at the Bank of the Arts at 6 and 7.
Gotcha.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Definitely
Very
want to be
good.
there, but I am
Yes.
going to jet because I want to go
Yes.
watch the dress rehearsal.
Please do.
Yes.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you for being
here.
here.
Thank you for
you.
having me. I'm excited to be here, and I'll gladly come back anytime you need me.
Thanks
Yes.
bringing
Thank you.
toys too.
Yes.
We like
Yes.
it.
May the 4th be with
May
you.
the 4th be with you as well.
Yay!
Well, I was going to say right now in the testing center, our EMT certification test takers have blown up. We are testing 3 to 5 a day to get that EMT certification. So
Wow.
once you get all these skilled trades, come see us in the testing center and we can hook you up with the certification for you to be able to get that next level position in one of these skilled areas. So come see us.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is that it's not long term. you know, so you can start small, you can get that certification, and you can start your career.
Right.
So that means that you can begin earning money with very little debt for your education as well.
Right. Right.
And right now, with all of the grant money that we have, a lot of these classes are fee waived.
Yep.
Or I shouldn't say fee waived. They're covered by the cost, and there's also extra funds that even can cover the cost of some of their equipment, stethoscopes, you know, books, whatever the case may be. So
Yeah.
Yes.
again, that's a great option. And right now it says our society has a hard time accepting the skills trade route as a valuable career path. But National Skills Trade Day aims to raise awareness and help show America that values the value of skilled trades. So there was a joke that I heard one time, and I can't remember who told it to me, but it is
Okay.
kind of funny. So, and I'm not good at jokes. I'm just going to come right out and say it. So anyway,
Well, don't start with that.
well, okay. Well, it was funny at the time, whoever delivered it to me.
Tell the joke.
But
Say it.
this doctor called out a plumber and said, you know, hey, I need my toilet's clogged up. And so he goes, okay. And he hands him the bill, and he says it was $200. He goes, $200? I don't make $200 an hour. And he says, yeah, I didn't either when I was a doctor.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Took me a
doctor
minute.
left it and went back into plumbing.
Do
So
the plumbing. Yes. Oh, I agree. And right now, if you're building a home, if you're doing construction, it's hard to find some people right now.
Definitely,
And
yes.
they're short staffed. There's, you know, don't have enough workers right now. And there's a huge deficit.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was at the hospital with my husband, and of course I stayed overnight, and you know, I learned how to. Anyway, I learned a lot. So
Right.
when the doctor showed up the next morning, and I had to do how many cc's of urine output and clear bubbles out of tubes and all that kind of stuff, and figure out why that's beeping, and figure out the sides of the. I mean, it was like you needed to be an engineer to figure out how to lower and raise the
Yes.
sides of the beds.
Yeah.
Or the table for your food.
Yes,
That is
yes. Or the phone, the telephone.
Yes.
Just all of that. Well, when the doctor came in, the surgeon came in, it was like morning 3 or 4. I kind of lost count because I was pretty exhausted. And the PA was with him. Well, he said, so how's Team Johnson? I said, exhausted, but I think I'm ready to take my state boards. I had all this on-the-job training.
Nice.
So he turned the PA and he says, yeah, she made me teach her how to look at how AFib looks versus a regular EKG. Because my husband went into AFib, so I wanted to know the difference between AFib and sinus rhythms. So, and then I was helping him walk around, you know, like we had
Such
to
a
run
great
loops, right?
caretaker.
Yeah.
But that's what was really kind of cool. So they were like, "Oh, they've got you working," and I said, "Well, no, I offered," and helping him walk around the
Right.
station and stuff. And they said, "Hey, you want a job?"
No, I bet they did. I bet
and
they
I
did.
said, "I don't think I'm qualified." And they're like, "We're low on nurses. We'll hire you."
On the job training. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, watching those nurses go in, the cardiac nurses, especially while he was in the ICU section, pushing the buttons, I was fascinated.
Oh,
and
yeah.
of course, every phlebotomist, every nurse, every pulmonologist, I asked all of them, where did you get your training? And I was fascinated to hear where they got started, you know, whether
Right.
it was a community college or whether it was while they were in service or,
Right.
you know, from a different state and they transferred here. And just to kind of get their stories. It was
Yeah,
fascinating.
that's neat.
So
Yeah.
we're going to celebrate all of our skilled trade people in our community that
Right.
hold us together.
Yes. So speaking of our community, I believe we have some community announcements. Holly?
I think we have some special pictures, it looks like.
Oh,
Oh,
we have
okay.
we have a special picture to share.
Yeah.
Picture.
Several special pictures to share, I think. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Princess
the
Leia.
Star Wars memes.
Love it.
The sass
Yeah.
is strong with this one.
You have to say it right. The sass is strong with this one.
Good job.
Did I say
we need
it
to wear the
right?
mask.
Yes.
We need to wear
I need
Alec's mask.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Alec actually tried out to be in one of the Star Wars movies.
No, he
But-
Yeah,
didn't
oh, well,
tell-
look. There he is.
There he
Oh.
is, right there. There
Way
he
to go.
is.
It looks like he made it in.
He,
I know.
He did.
Yeah.
He made it. He made it.
But,
I
you know,
wonder-
he loved the college so much.
Yeah,
wanted
he
to
had
get
to
back.
stay
back.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice
he couldn't
job
take that opportunity.
there.
But
Love it. Love it.
Where do you get that sleeper?
Oh, okay. So different topic. This is the 2022 Craven County Teacher of the Year, Miss Laura Wilson. So congratulations, Laura. She's a 4th grade teacher at Roger Bell New Tech Academy. This was announced last night.
That's in Havelock.
Yes, Roger Bell is in Havelock. And one of Laura's quotes that I love says, I create authentic, hands-on learning activities that are relevant to the students and their interests. I believe that teaching is truly a privilege. Knowing that parents trust me to nurture and grow their children is a huge responsibility. Our kids are amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
She also happens to be one of my best friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Good job, Laura.
Yay, Laura.
Yay, Laura. She's also
Teaching
in
is
Walking
a-
Bathtub.
I was going to say teaching is a
Oh, she's in
difficult
Walking
profession.
Yeah, she's very involved with the theater as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, we got a job fair coming up here on campus. It's going to be Friday, May 13th, 10 a.m. to noon. It's going to be in our Nauman Community Room, which is formerly known as the Student Hall, and it's now called Ward Hall.
Yep.
And so it's the big room on the right when you first enter the front door. So please bring your resumes and get your handshake ready and look the part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So next weekend, a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Is going to open at the New Bern Civic Theater. So May 13th through 15th, May 20th through 22nd, and May 27th through 28th. And then Fridays and Saturdays, that'll be at 7:30, Sundays at 2, and you can get your tickets, newberncivictheater.org.
Or you can go to
The box office.
the box office
You
when it's
can.
open.
Yep.
hmm Very good.
Up, and away.
That would be the Christmas concert that we just...
Well, not Christmas, but
Christmas. The concert, sorry. This is
it is
Craven,
May. Yep.
Craven Community Chorus. So
Yes.
that is not our encore chorus. That
No.
is the other community adult that Phil Avancho is the director for. And they will have the Trent River Orchestra and Cheryl Kite, who's a fantastic accompanist, assisting them for Thursday, May 19th, Saturday, May 21st, and Sunday, May 22nd. It will be, you can get tickets at Bank of the Arts, UPS Store, Fuller's, Kitchen on the Trent, Harris Teeter, different chorus members, which I know they got to be 75 strong, right? I mean, there's a lot of them in that choir.
Yep.
And of course, go to Facebook and find them under Craven Community Chorus. And the concert will be here on our campus at Oringer Hall. And we thank them for our sponsors as well, for keeping us going.
Yeah. So we also have an evening of chamber music. Last week we learned what chamber music was. So this is featuring SHAUNA, BIERLY, and friends. Megan, do you know what chamber music is?
Yeah, I had to.
We needed you here last week.
Sorry.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We needed you.
we were guessing. It's
Oh.
music that you play in your chamber. Is that right?
Kind of. People call your chamber now as like your bathroom.
Yeah. Well,
No. Okay.
but that's Thursday, May 26th at 7 p.m. here on our New Bern campus, Oringer Auditorium, and it is free and open to the public.
But because it's free and there's only 185 seats, highly recommend that you get here early.
Oh,
because
yes.
it will be
Good call.
first available. So I would encourage you to come early. There's plenty of parking on campus, so it'll be easy to get in and out.
Good deal.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Is
that it?
anything else?
That's all.
That's all.
Well, we thank Holly and Christy for keeping us down and still alive on the air. And
Here we
very
go.
good, Meredith. So again, it was great to be back in my happy place with
We're
my.
glad to have you
with-
back.
I've got
We've
Megan
missed you.
The Meganettes on either side of me.
what we're called now.
I like that.
Well, when
like
you sang,
it,
you
yeah.
could be my Meganettes.
I like
my
that.
background. But again, thank you all for being with us today. At lunchtime on Wednesdays. We look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. That will be May. What's 7 days from now?
7 days from 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th.
May 11th. I'm sorry to not mean to
Borrow some
snort.
fingers.
Did not go to math school.
So we'll see you next week, May 11th. And stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. And we'll see you then. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.